In this video I'm going to show you how to connect the Shelly 1 to a VDS motor in order to automate a rolling gate. VDS is one of the most well-known Italian companies that make motors for opening gates. Even though they make many different models of motors, most of them have the same electronic circuit. This is the electronics board. So let's have a look at the diagram. We can see here that we have a start, that's the common, and that's the pedestrian. So what we need to do is to put two wires, one on the start and one on the common here. This circuit is normally open between the common and normally open here, and I connected it to the Shelly input and output. So let's have a look at the Shelly. The Shelly has the live and the neutral, and then the two wires connected to the input and output, I and O. So these two wires, we connect them in between 1 and 2, just like we saw in the diagram. With only one hand. Anyway, it's done. It's connected. So now let's have a look at how we set up the Shelly. If you have never set up a Shelly, the process is very easy. Once you connected the power cables and switched on the power, you will need to download the Shelly Cloud app. You will need to create an account in the app. Once you have created one and are logged into the Shelly app, press onto the burger menu on the top right side. Press Add Device. Insert your Wi-Fi name and password and press Next. Your Shelly 1 should show up in the list of discovered devices. You will need to press on Include Devices to add it to your list of devices. You can then create a room or add it to an already existing room, for example, living room. Give the device a name, then press Save Device. Once the device is connected to the cloud, you can add it to a group or create a scene that uses this device. And now let's go back to our rolling gate. Go to Settings and select Button Type. You will need to choose Momentary, since this is a dry contact button and only needs a short contact. Then exit Settings and go to Timer. Click on Auto Off and select When on, turn off after seconds. Insert 1 to set the number of seconds to 1. This means when you press the button, it will turn off after 1 second. If you want to stop the gate from opening, let's say halfway, you press the button again. Pressing it a third time will cause it to start closing, just like a remote control. And that is all. Now let's go into Home Assistant for those of you who would rather use Home Assistant to control the gate. To add the Shelly devices into Home Assistant, you will need to add Shelly for HAS or use the native Shelly integration, but only if you have Home Assistant version 0.115 or newer. You will need to log in with the same Shelly account you use in the Shelly Cloud app and permit the access to your account. Once you did that, your Shelly devices will appear in Home Assistant in the Shelly integration. You will see the number of devices and the number of entities it created. Go into Devices, click the Shelly one that you used for the gate. Here's a hint: if you have multiple devices and you don't know which one it is, go into the Shelly app, find the Shelly one, go into Settings, then Device Information, and there you will see the device ID. Find that device ID in the list of devices in Home Assistant. Click on it and it will show the list of entities. You can then change the name by clicking on the entity. In the dialog that opens, you can override the name and also change the entity ID completely to something more meaningful. Press Update and you are done. You can add the switch entity to Lovelace. You can create an automation or a scene that uses the rolling gate. I created an automation so that if I come home after dark and open the gate, the front lights will turn on for 1 minute. Another automation I have will check and close the gate if it remains open for more than 5 minutes after midnight. There are a lot of possibilities in Home Assistant, a lot more than what the Shelly app offers at the moment. It all depends on your necessities. I will stop here with this video. If you found it useful, hit the like button. You might also want to subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Anyway, if you have watched until here, thank you. Until the next video, all the best.